Good morning, Hosho staff, students, and families. Yatea bina. We're ready to start our day, so everybody please stand. Place your right hand over your heart. Our voices are off and bodies are still. Standing respectfully, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, March 1st, the beginning of a week and the beginning of a new month, March. We do have 2 weeks of school before spring break, so let's make the most of them. We have some new music to listen to today. Now, this piece of music is played across the world once every 15 minutes. That's pretty popular. So once every 15 minutes, somewhere in the world, somebody is playing this piece of music. So obviously it's a piece of music that you're going to hear at some point in your life, and it'd be good to know what you're listening to. So this piece is by a French composer, Maurice Ravel. Can you say Maurice Ravel? And the name of the piece is Bolero. Bolero. And it was written by Maurice Ravel in around 1928. He was writing it as a selection to go with a piece for a Russian ballet. And Ravel is a Frenchman, but his mom was Spanish, and he loved to listen to her folk music, and he was inspired by that. Oftentimes our mothers do have that impact on us. And so he loved the Spanish folk music, so he created this piece called Bolero. And this is a piece that was almost the theme for Star Wars, according to Mrs. Neff, is what she's told me. Can you believe that? But we know one of the themes from Star Wars was written by John Williams, right? Another piece that we've listened to in the past. So this is a 1-minute piece of music that repeats. So it's 1-minute theme, and then it repeats and repeats, and it keeps adding new instruments. It's a live performance by the Johann Strauss Orchestra. So at the beginning you can hear the applause, and then you'll hear the snare drum come in, and then other instruments one by one come in. So let's listen to Bolero by Maurice Ravel. Okay, friends, that's Bolero by Ravel. So, get a chance to watch it and see the instruments coming in one by one. And at the end, there's some visual effects, I guess, that Mrs. Neff has said. I didn't get to see the whole thing. And you hear somebody singing, so the voice is an instrument also. Okay, so our poem for the week. We do have an author who's having a birthday tomorrow, Dr. Seuss. That's right. So we have a selection from Dr. Seuss for you this week. So, Dr. Seuss poem, and I found this as an excerpt, so I'm not sure which selection it's tied to, so I'm going to have to do some research, I just realized. But this is one of my favorites from Dr. Seuss. Today you are you. that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Shout aloud. I'm glad to be what I am. Thank goodness I'm not a ham or a clam or a dusty old jar of gooseberry jam. I am what I am, and what a great thing to be. If I say so myself, happy every day to me. No one is youer than you, he says. That's very true. It's truer than true. There's no one youer than you. So everybody is so unique. We look different. We have different personalities. There has never been another person in this whole world who is you. So you have a special job to do on this earth, and it's your job to figure that out. How are you going to make the world a better place? So start thinking about that. Okay, friends, for artwork this week, let's see, we have a new artist as well, Albert Bierstadt. Albert Bierstadt is an American landscape artist, but he was born in Germany, moved to the United States when he was only a year old, then moved back to Germany to do some training in art, then moved back to the United States. He was alive from 1830 to 1902, and during that time was the time of the westward expansion. Perhaps you've been studying that in your history class. If not, you will someday soon. And that the people who lived in the colonies on the coast of the United States eventually decided that we needed to move west, especially after the Louisiana Purchase. And Jefferson wanted that land explored, and Lewis and Clark went out and explored all that land. And then artists went out to go take, because you didn't have photographs, so they went out and they took paintings, landscape paintings of all the places that they could see, and share that with people, and it made it a romanticized version of it. It's beautiful, we know it's beautiful, but even the artists used techniques to make it even more romantically beautiful. So it inspired people to want to explore the West. So Albert Bierstadt was, like I said, an American landscape artist who was part of this tradition. He uses a technique called Luminism. And Luminism is to use light to romanticize and make things look awe-inspiring and beautiful. And so in this painting that I'm going to show you, it's the Rocky Mountains, Landers Peak, which is in Wyoming, a mountain in Wyoming. And in the foreground of the painting, you can see a Shoshone village. And this Shoshone Native American, I believe Sacagawea was a Shoshone and helped Lewis and Clark find their way through all of the West all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Okay, so here is the Rocky Mountains by Albert Bierstadt. And you probably can't see, and the quality of the print is not so good, but there's a little village down here. And so at some point, we are going to have this on the wall so you can see it. But here's Landers Peak, and you can see the light shining on it, making it more spectacular. And inspired lots of people to go out west. Okay, we have been doing our Bill of Rights, which are the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution written by James Madison in 1791. Did you get all that? Hope so. So we've been studying the 6th Amendment, and now we're going to add the 7th Amendment and talk a little bit about it. So the 7th Amendment reads, in suits at common law, where the value in the controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of common law. What does that all mean? We've talked a lot about criminal cases, that the government cannot bring charges against you and violate your rights to a speedy and public trial, to have the right to have somebody to defend you, an attorney to bring your defense, that you cannot be imprisoned without due process of law. We've gone over all those rights. because those are in a criminal case where you could go to jail for something the government has accused you of. But because when you go for a criminal trial, it's the government that's suing you or pursuing you in court. But sometimes you have things that come up that might be, maybe you can't decide if you own a piece of property where the line is. That's your property, your neighbor's property. That's a problem that happens a lot. People have lots of arguments over where does your land end and where does mine begin. So sometimes there are some problems like that, or maybe if somebody gets hurt and they think somebody is responsible for getting hurt, they might try to bring a civil suit. So it's not a criminal suit, it's a civil suit to have some wrongs righted. And so if it's more than $20, you get to have a jury trial. And our founding fathers wanted this because governments can sometimes judges might be influenced by governments, and they don't want the government to influence a judge to rule against you. And so you're much more likely to have people understand your point of view if it's a jury of your peers. So people who live in the same place as you do may see things the same way you do. And sometimes judges decide cases based on the law, and sometimes we have our friends and neighbors help us decide these things. And that's been the way it's been done through common law for many, many years, including in England, where the colonies had originated from. So I'm going to repeat it, and then we'll practice it tomorrow. In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of common law. Okay. No birthdays today, so announcements are, if you have incompletes on your report card, then your parents will need to make a conference with a teacher, and the teacher should have already invited you to that conference. If you have not heard from your child's teacher, if you are a parent watching this, then please let me know. Also, if you are a student watching this and you know your parent needs to meet with us so we can figure out how to solve that issue of you not having a complete or a passing grade in a class, because we need to be able to decide who's moving on to which grade level and maybe who needs to repeat because they didn't have enough time in whatever grade they're in right now. So tomorrow's Dr. Seuss' birthday, so if you would like to come to school dressed as a Dr. Seuss character, please feel free to do that. That's all we have for today, so let's do our student pledge. I will do the good, I will learn the true, and I will love the beautiful. And I hope you have a great day today.